Hey, what's up guys? It is Rob from Movie Review Time, and I am back with another video. I stated before that I'm going to be doing movie reviews. I'm going to start cranking out the movie reviews and maybe some horror movie reviews and things like that, because I've been doing mostly list videos. But for this video, I wanted to review one of my favorite TV shows. At least the first few seasons were actually my favorite. I haven't really been keeping up with the show. But I have here a complete season of, I believe it was filmed in 2003, but actually debuted in 2004. And it's a really cool season of the show Survivor. And it's Survivor All-Stars. Now, this was the first time that this show brought people back from previous seasons, okay? And I believe the season before this was Pearl Islands. I believe that's what the show was called, Survivor Pearl Islands, with Rupert there, who comes back. But what was cool about this, like, yeah, you had certain survivors coming back from some of the past shows, and there was 18 survivors. So there wasn't just 2 tribes, there were 3 tribes actually. One of them got dissolved into, you know, some of the other tribes, and then there was 2. But yeah, 18 survivors, and a lot of these guys were winners. It's one of my favorite series. I actually like Survivor Borneo, which was the first season. Then there was Survivor Australian Outback, which was season 2. I really liked that one. Then there was Africa, which was fine. After that, I didn't really keep up with them that much. Then when All Stars came out, I really enjoyed this season. And I think, you know, what makes it is the characters, or in the cast members. So, you have Rupert from Pearl Islands. You have Boston Rob from Marquesa. You have Amber from Australian Outback. You have Jenna Lewis from Borneo. Tom from Africa. Lex from Africa. You have Alicia from Australian Outback. You have Rudy from Borneo, and Richard Hatch from Borneo. Now, out of those that I just mentioned, Richard Hatch is a winner. He won Survivor Borneo. Then you have Tina from Australian Outback, who was a winner. She won Australian Outback. Sue from Borneo. Colby from Australian Outback. Kathy from Marquesa. Rob Sestranino from Amazon. Jerry from Australian Outback. Sheehan from Thailand. You have Jenna, I don't remember her last name, but another Jenna from Amazon who actually won. And then you have Ethan, who won Africa. So you have a lot of, they actually have a lot of survivors from Australian Outback in this one. In Borneo, they have Richard, Rudy, Jenna, and Sue. Australian Outback, they have, let's see, Amber, Alicia, Tina, Colby, Jerry. So yeah, and there's a lot from the first few seasons. But yeah, All Stars is cool. Of course, Amber Burkich won the game, and she didn't really do anything special to win the game. She basically just rode the coattails of Rob, or Boston Rob, because, you know, there were a couple and stuff like that. But the one survivor I didn't really care for was Kathy from Marquesa. Like, because if you see, like, in this show, she thinks she knows how to play the game, but she, you know, she acts like so cocky, like she knows how to play the game so well. But yet you have people like crying in this, like Lex. He cries because, you know, he got betrayed by Boston Rob. Like, Boston or you know, Amber switched tribes with Lex, and then Boston Rob made a deal with Lex saying, hey, if you keep her, I'll help you later on in the game. he did, and then Boston Rob stuck a knife in his back, basically kicked him off. And then Lex is all like crying, like, oh, you know, a friend asked a friend for a favor, and you gave me the knife in the back. And then Kathy was like, you know, it's just like crybaby titty sucking stuff going on. It was just, there's a lot of drama that happens in this show, and that's what makes it a show. You know, if you didn't have the drama and stuff like that, you wouldn't really have an entertaining show to watch. But yeah, you have executive producer and creator Charlie Parsons, who created the show. Executive producer Mark Burnett. And actually, this show was actually created off of an idea of the movie Lord of the Flies. And I'd never seen that movie before. But that's what this show, that's where they got the idea for the show, which is interesting. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so this is the complete season. There is a lot of special features on this. Exclusive, never before seen bonus footage from multiple episodes. 15 all-star episodes plus 2 reunion specials. They have the reunion on this, which is cool. Audio commentary from some of the survivors. Behind the Dream Team, where they show how the people make the challenges, because Survivor is all about challenges and stuff. They show like behind the scenes how they create these challenges and you know, make sure that the survivors can do them. A music video compilation of the best moments, players, and challenges of the 8 seasons of Survivor. Casting the Castaways, where they show their insights and audition tapes of the survivors. The finale, they go behind the scenes of the live finale. The Survivor profiles, where they have exclusive interviews of all 18 All-Stars. Promos, things like that. There's some images from the show. My favorite, I like Rupert. I like Rupert a lot, but Richard Hatch has always been one of my favorites. He won the first Survivor, but he's so cocky and arrogant. He actually got into trouble. I believe, I don't know if it was like tax evasion or what he did. But in this show, he kind of got in trouble for, I want to say like sexual molestation or anything like that. It's just like, he was naked and he rubbed himself on Sue or something. She got mad and said she was going to sue him and stuff like that. I don't know if that actually went through or not, or if that was just drama for the show. But yeah, let's go over what's inside this box set. There are 7 discs, okay? Disc 1 here has Tina, Rudy, and Jenna on it. And the first episode is called They're Back. Second episode is called Panicked, Desperate, and Thirsty as Hell. And the third episode is called Shark Attack, where Richard Hatch gets attacked by a shark. It's a little one. But yeah, the first 3 episodes is kind of interesting because, you know, they get there on the beach and it's not like any of the other Survivors, because in this one they make it tough. Like, it's, when you first get there, you get like a machete and a cooking pot, and like you don't get no water, you don't get nothing to, well, you do get water, but you got to boil it because there's brain parasites and stuff. You have to boil the water, but you don't have fire. You don't have the stuff to make fire or anything like that, so you have to make fire to boil the water, to drink the water. So they make it really, really tough. In the second episode, they really are, you know, they're trying to make fire and stuff, and they're getting thirsty and stuff like that. So it's really, 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 really cool to watch. You know what they go through as survivors. So the first out is Tina. From Australian Outback, because she was targeted because she was a winner. Then there's Rudy, who they voted him out because he was kind of bringing the tribe down. He's not as quick as some of the other members. And then there's Jenna, who left the game. Here's the thing about Survivor All-Stars that's kind of different too, is that 2 people actually leave the game. Jenna left because her mom was on her deathbed with cancer and stuff like that. So she left the game to be by her side. And I guess her mom actually died. She rushed to her bedside. I believe she got there and made it before she died. But yeah, Disc 1 has a lot of cool episodes. Then we get to Disc 2, which has an episode called Wipeout. I've been bamboozled, which is the episode where Richard Hatch gets kicked off. And then there's one called Outraged, which is the episode where Sue leaves because she's so upset at what Richard did to her. She leaves. She just walks away from the game. She's so upset about it. And I don't even know what happened, if she actually pursued, like, going to court for what Richard did to her. I don't even know what happened. But, yeah, kind of a weird few episodes because you have 2, like I said, 2 people leave the game. Jenna, the way Jenna left is fine because, her mother had cancer. I can understand that. But Sue just leaves the game because she feels like she's been violated. But Richard Hatch gets kicked off. Rob Cesternino gets kicked off because they think he's a threat. He's actually too smart. They said Rob Cesternino from Amazon is one of the best survivors to play the game. I disagree. I think Richard Hatch in the first season was the best. He had a really cool strategy. He's the one who created this formula of creating alliances. He's the one who did that. So I think Richard Hatch is one of the best players. Even though in this game he was a huge target because everyone wanted him to get kicked off because he was gloating how good he was. But, he was a winner. They targeted winners. Disc 3, Sorry I Blew It, which is where Ethan, another winner of, he's winner of Africa, he blew this really tough challenge where the reward was going on a yacht and getting food and stuff like that. He basically took responsibility for it. And then you got Pick a Tribe Mate, and then you got Mad Scramble and Broken Hearts, which is where Boston Rob and Amber kind of make an alliance, but they start to flirt with each other and it becomes something real, like they have a relationship. Mad Scramble Broken Hearts is where Amber gets sent to another tribe, and that's where Boston Rob, he asks Lex for a favor to keep her. So they switch tribes. Amber stays she goes to another tribe where Boston Rob is by himself and he's sad because he misses his girl. So they do that whole relationship thing. On the cover here you have Jerry, Ethan, and Colby, who all get kicked off, which is weird. You have 2 Australian Outback members who get kicked off. So that's a good few episodes there. Then you have Disc 4, which has Anger, Tears, and Chaos, which is the episode where Lex starts crying because Boston Rob pretty much sticks a knife in his back, kicks him off. But he's playing the game. That's the game. Then there's a Thoughtful Gesture and a Deceptive Plan, where that one's about family, where they get to read their letters from home. And then this episode is called Stupid People, Stupid, Stupid People. Is a line from Sheehan. Sheehan is like a she-devil, man. She just says whatever she wants. But that's a cool one, where Sheehan wins immunity because she's going to be kicked off, and she knew it, and she won immunity, and then they basically have to eat one of their own. So she's like Stupid People. So then you got Kathy. I don't like Kathy. Got Lex and then Alicia, who all get kicked off. If Kathy thinks she's such a good player, then why did she get kicked off? That's my question. She knows how to play the game, but yet she got kicked off. Go figure. Next is Disc 5. You have Sheehan, Tom, and Rupert. Now, there's only 2 episodes on Disc 5. You have a Shapira Surprise, which is basically the family members of the remaining tribe. The remaining tribe members get to come and do challenges with the tribe members, which is cool. Then you got the Instigator, which is where Big Tom and Boston Rob, Boston Rob doesn't really trust him. And things start to go wrong with the alliance and stuff. So that's definitely some cool stuff. And then you got Disc 6, which has Boston Rob, Amber, and Jenna Lewis from Borneo. This is the final 3. Okay. You have a really long, couple long episodes here. The Sole Surviving All-Star Reunion. Now, this is a very long episode. It goes from the final 4 down to the final 3, down to the final 2, and then the actual voting out and see who wins, and then the reunion. So it's a very, very long thing. And then there's something on here called Survivor America's Tribal Council, where it takes place after the actual game, and they award another tribe member $1 million based on America's votes. So basically, America votes, and they vote on which survivor is their favorite. And after the votes are tallied, Jeff Probst, he basically reads the votes and grants someone else $1 million. And Rupert from Pearl Islands actually won that $1 million. But Amber Burkich actually won Survivor All-Stars, which is, that's actually a big honor, because you're talking about at this point some of the best survivors to ever play the game. Look how many winners actually came back for Survivor All-Stars. And you have Amber Burkich, who basically beat them all. So yeah, Amber Burkich, she wins, and Boston Rob proposes to her at the show. So basically, he's a billionaire too, because that was pretty smart. And Boston Rob and her have been doing shows like, there's like this one show they were on together, but they were like everywhere. Like, I think she posed for some kind of like modeling magazine or something like that. They've been doing a lot. This is the disc, season 7, or disc 7, sorry. Disc 7 is all the special features. But as you can see here, it has her as the sole survivor. So Survivor All-Stars is one of my favorites. I'm definitely going to be reviewing Survivor Borneo, which is the very first season, and Survivor Australian Outback, which is, I love the Outback because it seemed like that season was really tough. Like, at one point in that season, they lost their rice, they got dehydrated, they got really skinny. That was a tough season. But this season's a lot of fun. I love the music. I love the challenges. I love the cast members. Really, really cool. One of my favorite shows. Definitely one of my favorites that I own. So I thought I'd throw a little bit of a review out there for Survivor All-Stars. Definitely cool. I could see myself actually being on one of these shows. I think I'd actually be an asset to it. I think I'd do really good. It just seems like a lot of fun, especially now that I'm in better shape. I've actually been getting in shape, yeah. Survivor All-Stars. What did you guys think of this show? Have you seen it? If you haven't, definitely get your hands on it and give it a watch. I think you'll like it. Do you have to watch the past survivors? I would say yes and no. If you don't, it's not going to hurt you any. You can relate to the characters just as well. So, see you next time.